Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome if you're new here. If you are new, my name is Shan from HomeWithShan over on Instagram and this is baby George. Today we're going to be doing some weaning recipes. So we're going to be batch cooking a load of his new food that he's going to be trying. He's been doing so well, but I'm going to be doing some recipes that are a bit more baby-led weaning, some purees as well, and just introducing those new flavours and textures for him. So give this video a like if you want to see some more weaning content and I'll make sure to do that for you. But let's get into the video. The first recipe is for some spinach and sweet corn fritters, so perfect for baby-led weaning. So this is just some frozen spinach that I've defrosted in the microwave, some sweet corn, a green onion or a spring onion, an egg, some milk, some flour, some garlic and some baking powder and some oil just to cook in. So essentially all you do is whiz everything together, but my blender's really small so I have to do it in little steps. So if you've got a larger blender you can just pop it all in together and blend it all in. But I'm just going to start whizzing up this sweet corn until it's all mushy, pop it into a bowl, do the rest of the sweet corn, then do the spinach. Again, you can see that I have put this in the microwave. If you had raw spinach that would be perfectly fine as well, but this is the pre-cooked frozen spinach that I've then just defrosted in the microwave, so it is a little bit hot, but I whizzed that up and added it to the sweet corn as well. And then once all of that is sorted, I'm just going to cut up a spring onion. Again, I'm going to mix this in with the rest of it, but I just want to whiz it up first because obviously a whole bit of spring onion might be a bit too much for George. So if it's all cut up nicely, it will be nice and easy for him to swallow. So yeah, then I just mix all of that all in together. That is all combined. Then I'm just going to add the baking powder, a bit of flour and the garlic. And then I'm just going to mix that all in together and hope that it comes together nicely. And don't forget, I've still got the milk and the egg to add. I think probably you don't need both. Mine was probably okay just with the egg. I don't think I needed the milk, but obviously it depends on the consistency that you want. Once I added all of those bits, I'm just popping it into the frying pan. I also just popped over a bit of Parmesan or Grana Padano and yeah, just made that a little bit more flavoursome. It was a little bit bland beforehand. So yeah, I just popped those in the frying pan until they were all cooked through and then made a humongous batch of fritters. I literally made so many, I can't believe it. Thankfully George absolutely loves these, so I normally cut them up into like little soldiers and he likes them like that. He dips them into pea puree or to hummus or something like that, so yeah, he absolutely loves them. I normally wouldn't have made this many, but as I'm batch cooking I popped a load in the freezer into bags and then I popped these ones into the fridge. This is just a super simple one, just some pesto pasta. So I just boiled some pasta like I usually would, a little bit softer than I would have it, and then cutting it up into baby bites. I prefer this than buying baby pasta, to be honest. So then I just popped in some courgette and some mushroom, just some tiny little bits that I fried up in the frying pan, just with a little bit of butter, and then popped on some red pesto, mixed that all together, and then that is George's lunch. But this will make probably 3, 4, maybe even 5 portions for him. So I'll pop some into this little glass portion pot. These are so good. I'll link them down below because they are literally the best thing in the world. I use them every day. But yeah, that is George's lunch. So I've popped some in a bowl. Ash is going to give him some lunch and see how he reacts. He looked very happy with it. I don't know whether that's because of the camera or because of the pasta, but he actually ended up finishing the entire bowl, so it's a winner here. We actually had a whole bag of cauliflower, like frozen cauliflower, so I decided to do some cauliflower cheese with it. So I melted some butter like you saw in the saucepan, mixed in some flour until it came into like a paste, that kind of consistency, and then I started to add some milk. Then I kind of made it into like a thick sauce, I think it's called a roux, and then I started adding the cheese. So just a load of cheddar cheese, mix that all in, and then once that was all sort of mixed in, the cheese melted, which was absolutely perfect. Honestly, this cheese sauce is like delicious. I would definitely eat this myself. Then once that had all combined and the cheese had melted, I just popped in some cooked and blended cauliflower and then literally just folded that in, and then as soon as that was all combined, that is the cauliflower cheese ready. It's obviously really easy for George to swallow, and I've obviously got my portion pots ready to divide that up. There's loads and loads and loads here, so I ended up freezing some. I also gave him some for lunch. So yeah, it was a really good, really cheap meal that actually goes really far. We also discovered that George loves this on toast, so I just spread it on some toast and then cut them into little soldiers, and he absolutely loved it. So the next recipe by far is George's favourite that he's tried entirely, and it's a creamy cheese rosemary risotto with butternut squash. It's in the Ella's Kitchen cookbook. You literally measure out the risotto rice, melt some butter in a frying pan or a wok, fry off the rosemary and some garlic as well, let that all fry off, and then you add the risotto in with it and literally just mix it all in until it's coated, and then you literally just add water. It's that easy. So I just started adding boiling water a bit at a time, letting it reduce each time. So I don't know if you guys have made risotto before, I certainly hadn't. So you literally add some water, let it reduce, add more water, let it reduce, add more water, and it's just a consistent cycle until the risotto is cooked basically, and you can tell straight away as long as you bite into it and it looks pretty, I don't know, not watery, is that the word? While the last of the water is reducing, I'm just going to pop the lid on and then move on to the butternut squash. So I don't know if lazy is the word, but I'm a mum, let's face it. So I actually got these butternut squash chunks, and they are so good. They taste lovely and they're so easy. So I literally have just boiled them off until they're cooked. I think it takes like 6 minutes. You can steam them. I think that's actually a little bit better, but we don't have a steamer. So when the butternut squash was done, I just drained all the water and then literally ready to mash them. So you literally just mash them until they get to a consistency that you are happy with, and then it's basically time to make the risotto complete by just grating in as much Parmesan as you want. I don't think this is actually Parmesan, this is the cheap version of Parmesan. I think it's Grana Padano maybe, but yeah, any kind of hard cheese that you want to pop in. This is what makes it creamy and cheesy and gives it a bit of flavour. And then I just mix that into the risotto and then add the butternut squash mash. It is, I kid you not, delicious. If this had a pinch of salt and pepper in it, I would actually eat this myself. And this is by far George's favourite meal he's had so far. He's such a posh little baby. He loves risotto, which is so funny. But yeah, it is really, really delicious. So once that's all combined, I will pop it into, again, the glass containers. I actually then ran out of glass containers, so I started using my little weaning tray that I've got here. So this is really, really good as well. Like, this is really perfect to know exactly like a good portion size for a meal for a baby. These little ice cubes are like the perfect portion size for George. So that is going into the freezer and that is perfect. I can just defrost these either the night before giving them to George or after popping them in the microwave for a minute. George actually ended up eating about half of one of those containers that I showed you, the glass containers, which is actually a much bigger portion than I would usually offer him, but he loved it so much. He was absolutely loving feeding himself as well. I swear, risotto is by far his favourite thing. I've tried it with a few different flavour combinations as well. This is probably his favourite, but I think risotto is definitely #1 for George. So yeah, those are my recipes that I've been using for weaning George. He's loved every single one, to be honest. I think probably his favourite is the risotto, second favourite cauliflower cheese, but I would absolutely love to know what your baby's favourite meals are, your favourite recipes to do, quick easy recipes, that kind of stuff. So let me know in the comments down below, but for now guys, I'll see you in the next video. Love you, bye!
'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.